Hey guys, so I'm here with episode 2 of my Create a World tutorial in Paralives. As you saw in the first episode, if you haven't seen it, I'm basically recreating all of the Paralives town and making it my own, and I've already made a bit of progress. I've added loads of landscaping items, and I've also made my first community lot. So in the previous video, I got rid of all of the paras. I'm a little bit cautious about doing that straight away, just in case we come into a load of issues, because I know that certain paras have some gameplay effects, especially with this message board. If this camera wouldn't stop lagging around, I really need a camera mod. But I noticed that there is some gameplay attached to this message board, and also when you're first introduced to the game, you are introduced to a train conductor and also the storytellers. So just to be on the safe side, I think I'm going to leave the townies alone until I've completely redesigned all of the world. So it's going to be a bit tedious. I'm going to have to move all of the paras every time that I come into a certain lot. I'll have to shift them out of the way, but I will just crack on. So I'm going to just show you what I'm going to be doing with the community lots. I'm actually going to be creating custom signs in Photoshop. So I'm going to show you the whole method, and I'm pretty much using the normal build mode. I'm not using the cheat toggle edit town. I've just switched to Bella and Mortimer Goth, and I've made them purchase this business lot, and I've just come into build mode the normal way. So as you can see, I'm pretty restricted just to this lot. I can't build outside of it, but that's just to help with lag and any issues that I might come across. I think this might be the way to do it. So yeah, just gonna crack on and start showing you how I'm gonna be creating this sign. So I'm actually using this sign right here as a good template. So this one's called Lady Rose sign, and I'm going to call this shop Lady Rose. As Bella Goth is into roses, all of her mansion that I built in one of my videos, I decorated it with a load of wall pictures that had roses on them, and I think this community lot will match her perfectly. So I'm going to jump into Photoshop and try create something very similar to this sign right here. Alrighty, so here we are in a free version of Photoshop, Photopea, and I recommend this to any of you guys if you want to use a free version of Photoshop. It isn't Photoshop, by the way, it's just very similar, the layout and the design and everything, but I'm using this and I'm just going to show you the method of how I'm going to create this sign. So I am just going to click on this right here, and now you can see it's created a little label, which just gives it a nice effect. And let me resize this to show you a little bit better. I don't know what size to put it on, 500 maybe. See if that'll fit into the center, and it does. So try put that bang on in the middle, but this is kind of the vibe that I want to go with for this shop sign. I just want to make everything custom. So I'm gonna give this a color, and I've already messed around with the colors a little bit. I think that's pretty accurate to what the sign looks like in Paralives. And then click on the stroke, and I need to make sure that it is centered and make that the same color as this. There we go. And just make sure that there's no weathered look on it, because that's not really the look that I'm going with. I'm going to make the text look like it's a little bit weathered and old, but for the actual sign itself, I want that to be all clear. So happy with that, and I'm just going to rasterize this, and then I'm going to add the stroke again, but I'm going to make this the inside option. Oh wait, actually I don't think I've done this right. Let me go into rasterize layer type, there we go, and then go back into stroke. Put it on the inside and just change the color slightly, just to make this outline a little bit lighter to something like this. I'm happy with that. And then I just want to give the actual sign a little bit of a shadow. So I've already played around with this a little bit. You can see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give it a bit of a shadow to make it look like it actually is meant to be there. Messing around with this quite a bit. I'm going to be adding roses and whatever else, but let me just add the text next. So I'm going to be calling this Lady Rose. I need to change the size of this. It's also kept it as these banners or whatever you call them. Let me go back into the actual text that I was using. There we go. Lady Rose, bish bash bosh, and then put that in the middle. So I like the white look, but I don't feel like that matches Bella Goth, so I'm going to change the colour just slightly. Oh no, actually I'm not. I'm not going to mess around with the colour. Instead, I'm going to add this like old texture on top of it, because this is going to give it a bit of texture. This is exactly the kind of look that I'm going for. So for any of you guys, just copy my method, just pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm sorry if I'm going really fast, but I'm just showing you my technique of creating my own custom signs if any of you want to create your own. So as you can see there, I'm clicking on the magic wand and I'm outlining the text, Lady Rose. And then I want to click on the background and right click and then create a clipping mask. And as you can see there, it has given it a bit of texture. So now you can just click in the middle of that and then just move it around wherever you want. So that is pretty much how you do this. I'm sure a lot of you know how to use, you know, Photoshop and whatever else, but for anyone that finds this stuff useful, here you go. This is how you pretty much create textured looking text and whatever else. So I think I'm happy with that. I obviously need to change the colors and everything. Let me just create a backup of that. I'm just going to rasterize these layers and merge layers. There we go. That's created that. And then I want to give this a bit of a color. So if I go into adjustments and then I'll go into hue and saturation, just want to mess around with the hue. Perfect. Can you see that? That's created like a nice little effect then. Really digging that. But we're not done. Got a bit more steps to go. Let me just get rid of these random layers. Don't need them anymore. And I'm just going to create a backup of this just in case I need it. But then I'm going to go into this rose right here. So basically just made a smaller size and then I've dragged it over here to the sign. And then I just need to turn this around by just going into transform, flip horizontally, boom, and then drag that over there. So what I'm going to do now is just try and make the roses blend in a little bit with the actual sign. So I'm just going to come into bevel and emboss and just see what this looks like. Turn it on and off. That actually doesn't look that bad. That blends in quite the way that I want it to blend in. So I'm happy with that. And I can also add this and do like a soft light and then just drag this down. And then this I can also change, so I can add like a bevel on the actual text. See, it just gives it a little bit of a shadow effect and makes it kind of look 3D. I'm happy with this. We just need to see what it looks like in the actual game now. So all I need to do is just export it, save it onto my desktop, and then bring it into the game. What I would recommend as well is just saving the actual Photoshop file, just so if you want to make more signs, then you'll easily be able to edit the existing one and make it the way that you want it to be. Right, so now that we're in the game, I want to show you how you can actually bring it into the game. So if I go into furnishings and then I go to the decor and go to the picture frames, you guys will probably know exactly what I'm trying to do here. So I don't want to add any frames or anything. I just want a blank option. So I think this is the one. That's good. Let me just see what this one's like. I think that's like a smaller version. Don't want that. Get rid of this and then go into change image, and then you just got to scroll all the way down to where you've got the plus button, and then go into your files and find exactly where you've saved the picture, just like this, and then just drag the actual sign to where you think it looks the best without stretching it too much. You just want it to look as accurate as possible, and then just center this to where you want it to be, and look at that. Already getting somewhere. You know, I can resize this a lot more as well just by hiring the top and the sides, and then I can kind of get it to where I want it to be. Just drag that to the center again. Let's have a look. Pull it down just a tad in the middle. And hey, I don't think that looks too bad. I think that looks pretty decent. So there we go. That we have created our first sign in Paralives. So that is pretty much how I'm going to be creating a lot more of these signs in the world. And obviously I can match the awning to the actual sign. So let me just come into here, create another version of this, and then just play around with these options until I've got something that I'm happy with. That looks decent, and just add that to the other side of this building. And then I'm going to add another sign over here as well. But yeah, that is pretty much how you create your own community lot signs if you want to. I like the debug options when you come into here in this. I showed you in the previous video, you can actually change the text of this. You know, I could call this Lady Rose, for example, and change all of the colors, like, you know, I was trying to do, but I didn't like the actual text, and I don't like how, like, the sign behind the text, I don't like how that fits with the actual text. It just looks a bit too boring and basic, so that's why I wanted to create my own, and I'm happy with how that looks, so just thought I'd show you. But now I'm going to furnish the rest of this lot off camera, and then I'm going to move on to the next community lots. Right, so I've completed the clothing store, and this is the clothing store that Bella Goth and Mortimer Goth are going to own. So I'll show you inside, but I just want to show you the outside first. This is pretty much how I've decorated it, and you'll get a good feeling of how I'm going to be decorating the rest of the world. I've added a few palm trees just to give it a bit of detail, and I think it's looking pretty decent so far. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments, but I will show you inside Lady Rose. So if I come down to this view, and it's only going to be one floor. The downstairs floor, I've not added a stairway going inside or an entranceway, but if you get this build and you want to add a second floor, then feel free to add some stairs, or you can always just add like a entrance door at the side of here. Yeah, this is looking very gothic because obviously it's owned by the Goth family. I wanted to add a lot of reds, blacks, and just some like dark pinks and moody colours. That's kind of the vibe that I'm going for when it comes to Bella Goth in general. And Mortimer also owns this shop, so you're going to see a lot of male and female clothing, but a lot of the townies that aren't interested in the gothic style, then they're definitely going to avoid this shop. But for those that, you know, like the reds and the blacks, then this is a perfect store for them. So I hope you like the theming. I'll just show you each little part. So I've added these curtains around here, and then, you know, when you see the actual shop entranceway, you'll see what's on offer, what you can expect inside. And then here's a little till area for Bella or Mortimer, whichever one is going to be running the desk. Let's just say this is probably where Bella Goth will be working. She'll be spending most of her time here. This is kind of her little job, and Mortimer is an author. Bella Goth, she is an actress, or she was an actress, and maybe she's given up that life and now she's just owning her own clothing store. So that's kind of the idea of it. And I've added the same sign in here, Lady Rose, and you're gonna just see a load of themed decor. I've added a tiny little dressing room. Paras won't really go in there, they shouldn't anyway, it's just for decor really. And then I've added a bunch of different outfits on here, you know, formal wear mainly. I've still got to figure out how you set things for sale. I don't know how it works. I don't know if they just click on these items and they purchase it. I've no idea. I need to figure that out. Maybe it's in the mod settings, or if any of you have messed around with the community lots and you figured out how to set things for sale, please do let me know. But I've got some more clothing on this shelf, some more on that. I've just copied it to the other side and just changed the colours and just added like masculine clothing on this side, feminine clothing on that side, and then just like a nice little stand with what's on offer. So I hope that you like it. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to save this and I'm going to upload it for you guys if you want to get this community lot. So I'm going to save this community lot on the Steam Workshop, and I'll just show you how you do that, just in case none of you have figured it out how to do it. You basically just have to scroll out until you come to the top view, and then just click on your store or click on your home, and it'll bring up this option, sell this lot, bulldoze, all of these. Go to this one where it says save lot to library, give it a name. So this is going to be called Lady Rose Appeal. There we go. And then OK. And then that saves it onto your actual Steam Workshop. And then to view your lots, you go into this here where it says place a lot from the library. Click on that. And then just click on... I had a bit of trouble when I'm clicking on created by you. I had to click on this and then all of mine show up. I don't know why it does that. I think it filters out which one you click on. So if I click on both of those, they disappear. So you would have thought just clicking on created by you, it would show you what you've created, but that's not how it works. And then here it is. It's looking a bit bare, so I'm probably gonna re-upload this once I've figured out how you sell the clothing and, you know, test the build and everything like that. And then just to upload it, I recommend changing the description, so I'll just call this the Goth's clothing store. I'll obviously give it a much more detailed description than that, similar to what I did with my actual houses and mansions. I've properly, you know, explained the whole lot, but for the example of this, and then you can add your own custom picture. I always take a picture in the game and then edit it just slightly in Photoshop. You don't have to do that, but you just save your picture on the desktop and then just upload it from here, and you'll have to make sure that it's the right size. I just have mine on a 19x20x1080 and that works. And then just upload it to the Steam Workshop and browse for lots on the Steam Workshop, and then you'll be able to see yours and everyone else's. So that's how you save lots and that's how you download custom lots. So now that I've showed you that, let's crack on and actually start working on the next community lot. And again, I'm not going to show you the whole process, but I'll just show you how I did it in the previous video. You basically have to purchase each property in order to edit it, or you can go into the toggle edit town sheet and edit it that way, but I'm just going to do it this way. I think it's easier. So I'm using the Goth family. They've got enough money, so I'm going to purchase this lot and then click yes. So now they own 2 lots, so they're definitely going to be rich. Now that they're owning 2 community lots, they've got 2 businesses, so they're doing pretty well in life. And I'm just going to shift these paras out of the way. I need to find Rebecca, so Control Shift C. This brings up the Parafolk profile. Type in Rebecca and then click on her. And then click on these 3 little dots, switch to this household, and then I can move her out of the way. Just so, you know, nothing is really interfering. I'm just going to make her run. And when I do that, it also makes the other paras run at the same time. So she is a part of this household. So she's basically done the same action, which I don't know why that is, because I clearly clicked on Rebecca. Might be a bug, I'm not sure. But now I need to move Asia. I hope I'm saying that name right. Control Shift C, Asia Jones, and then do the exact same thing again. Move her over here, make a run so we're not wasting time, and then boom. Now I can start editing this lot. So I need to switch back to Bella Goth first of all. Let me not forget that, because she is the one that owns the lot. So for this store, I don't think the Goth family are going to own it forever. It's just for now. Until I've, you know, made the townies that I want to own each specific lot. But I think I want to make a furniture store next to here. I think that'd make the most sense. Just a small little furniture shop selling like vintage furniture, you know, Tiffany lamps, things like that. I think that'll be quite cool. So I'm going to do the same thing again as what I did with this lot. Let me try get this closest to the edge as I possibly can. It's not going to be right at the edge. Probably have to go into toggle edit town to be able to get it right there, but that's probably close enough. Gonna see a little gap, which is not really what I wanted, but I can cover that up, I'm sure. I'd go into toggle edit town, but I noticed there were an issue whenever I went in that mode. I wasn't able to click on the top floor and be able to do what I've done here, adding another floor on top. So I don't know why that was. I don't know if it's just the game being buggy. Sometimes it does allow you, sometimes it doesn't, but anyway, I'm just gonna try and mimic this the best that I can. It's so finicky, like I've mentioned. Try get that to about there. Drag that down. And then we've created a lower floor. Just pull this all the way down until it's matching the other side. I'm going to add the same rock stone wallpaper as I did with this lot. And then just add a stairway. So I'm going to add the same kind of stairs. I can always change the colours later on. But I think these stairs are probably best going... I might put them in the middle. I think that might look quite cool. But that kind of works as aligned, thankfully. So just drag this along a little bit. Forgot to add some railings on that as well. I'll try remember to do that. But once I've finished all of these builds, I'll come back to them. Add like finishing little details. And then I'm going to do something a little bit different with this one. I'm just going to give this like a little bit of a corner. Remember that number, 2.9. Make that a 2.9 again if it'll do it. It's so finicky, I'm telling you. I have to press Alt. I have to hold down Alt in order to do this. I think that's the best that I can do for now. And then I can add a door there. Hopefully it'll work. Add that wall there. But I want to pull this out very similar to what I've done with next door. I want this to have a bit of an edge. Come on, you pain. Let's try get this at a 3.11. There we go. Finally. And then just connect that to there. There we go. So I love how this tree looks. I think that looks pretty decent. And now you can't really see the gap at the side, which is exactly what I want. Unless you're really looking, do you know what I mean? But now I'm going to add kind of the same siding, but I'm going to change the colour. I don't want everything to be the same, you know what I mean? So for a furniture store, this isn't going to be like gothic furniture either. Somebody else is going to own this. I might just add the green like I was going to do with this building, but I changed it to match, you know, the Goth family. So I might just have that the green and that might work, but I can always change it later if it doesn't. Add a bit of a flooring here. I want it to be different though, so something like this. Yeah, that'll do. And then just turn this around a little bit, maybe. On the top floor, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to do a half wall, and I think I changed it to a 2. That's not looking centered, but I have to just choose not to give an F. I have to choose not to care, but let me just make a half wall situation up here. I'll add this on top of here. I think this looks really cool. Adds a bit of detail. And then I have to get rid of this roof again at the top if it'll let me. It's not straightforward in this game at all. I've got to come inside and then try and do it. There's a bit of glitching going on here, which I'm not a fan of. Maybe it isn't a good idea having the molding on this side. Let me click on that. Has that fixed it? It has. Good. Right, so that's looking better. I'm glad that you don't have to, like, you know, like in the Sims 3, for example, you can only build on one lot and you can't, like, edit the other lot. You've got to go into, not a loading screen, but you've got to exit that lot and then go into that one. I like it in Paralives that you don't have to do that. You can just edit them both at the same time if you want to, you know. Now I'm going to add a window. I'm going to add the same kind of window, just a different colour. And I'm going to do it a little bit differently. So I'm going to add that about there, pull that down. Kind of have it the same measurements. But I'm going to do it just a little bit different, just a tad. Pretty happy with that. I think that looks decent. And then I can add the same kind of light onto here. I don't want everything to be completely different. But I definitely want it to, you know, have a bit of a variety, if that makes sense. As you can tell, I'm shit at talking about this kind of stuff. You can just see my process. So I will probably do all of the furnishing off camera. I'll just show you me doing the door and the basic stuff, but I'm also going to create a sign just like I did with that one in Photoshop, and I won't bore you guys by showing you that footage, but I just want to make this look kind of the same with, you know, like a shop front area that's got like a big sign at the top, just like this. And I'll add, you know, the actual logo on top of there. And I need to do the same thing at the other side. So that should be good. Looks pretty accurate. Looks pretty decent. Just add the same colour on top of there. Almost forgot. And then just want to add a door. So come in here. I don't know which door to add. I definitely want to add a different type of door. I think that actually will do. I don't hate that. And make the colours kind of match the window. So what colour have I done this window? I want this just to be a tad darker, like that. Copy this colour, paste it here, just copy and paste, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Looks pretty alright. I can always change it later on. And then I want to add some smaller windows at the front here and just resize them a little bit. So I'll do all of the furnishing and the wallpapers and all of that off camera, and then I'll jump back and show you the result. Alright, so that is the shop built. I've completely decorated the interior, and as you can see, I've given it a very basic name. I've just called this shop Vintage. This pretty much sells a load of vintage, wacky kind of furniture and decor pieces. But I'll show you the inside in a second. I just want to show you what it looks like on the exterior. So it pretty much matches the build next door, but just made it look a little bit different, you know, adding different plants and rocks at the front, and I've added this little pathway going up at the side, which I think looks pretty cool. And I've added these at the side of it as well, these big plants. I don't know what they're called. I've added it at the other side as well, and I think it just adds a bit more detail. And then I've got a nice little zigzag pathway coming up. It kind of reminds me a little bit of San Francisco. That is, I think, the vibe that I'm going with when it comes to this town. It's not going to be like San Francisco, like a big city, but it's going to have certain inspiration from there. You know, like the hills going up and the zigzag pathways and all of the beautiful landscaping and really pretty shops and beautiful coloured buildings. That's kind of the vibe that I'm going for with this. So I would love to be able to recolour this bridge over here into like a nice red to match the San Francisco bridge, or hopefully a modder will make something like that. If there's any modders that fancy tackling that, that would be amazing. I would definitely use that in this world, because that's kind of the idea that I want to go with, and I would love a really cool bridge in my town, so I could replace that one or put it somewhere else. But anyway, this shop is called Vintage. I've added a antique market sign outside. This is where you'll do a lot of auctions. You'll be able to sell your antiques there, and you'll be able to buy them as well. But yeah, I'll just show you inside. Sorry about the camera being all over the place. You know how it is. I need to get a mod. But if I come inside, I'll just put down the walls. Actually, that looks really ugly. I'll keep them up. I'll show you the main entranceway. So as you can see, I've added the front shop area. I don't know what they're called. I think they're called... God, it's at the tip of my tongue. Showcase. What's it called? It's at the tip of my tongue. Things that display pieces. Furniture display. Whatever. I think it's just called a display. Well, that's kind of what I've added here. I've just added an armchair there. That's not very vintage looking, but I felt like it matched the green aesthetic that I'm going with. And then I've added a load of Tiffany lamps. They're very vintage. I've added this weird foot lamp. The Paralives team are mental. Like, they've added a lot of wacky furniture pieces, but it gives the game a personality, so it's cool to see. And it definitely matches this kind of build that I'm making, so I'll just show you all of this random shite. Got a help sign, got a cushion duck, got whatever that is, a bird, got loads of just different themed random crap that nobody needs in their home. But there'll be some eccentric person out there, and definitely there will be a lot of eccentric people in Paralives. Just looking at a lot of these paras, they look very eccentric. I can't see any in specific right now, but I have noticed some eccentric paras, so they'd definitely be shopping here. I'll just show you just all this random crap. You got a big ass cow, and I've matched the painting with the actual wallpaper colour. Got loads of really beautiful artwork. This artwork you can't actually get in the normal artwork category. You've got to go into the debug, and you'll have to get that mod, by the way. I've linked it in my previous video. You go into the paintings of this debug mod, and then you'll be able to find all of this beautiful artwork. You'll be able to find it with a debug cheat. It's got loads of random crap, you know, a big ass globe in the middle and some suitcases, and I'll just show you this side as well. It's got the big vintage sign and loads more wall art and all this random shit. It's just what you'd expect in a shop like this. You know, you've got a toad playing the guitar, you've got a Christmas ornament, you've got a whatever that is, a crystal, big globe crystal, a little mini bike, another crystal, and a head, a severed head. And then you got the cash till, and I've added loads of decor there. I did the exact same thing in this build. I added loads of decor underneath it to make it look like it's actually, you know, lived in and people are actually working here. And then this, I really love this artwork. This flying goose looks wacky. A nice clock. And then the display pieces that you'd see from this view. So you got the cactus seat, you've got a duck table, nice lamp, this, whatever that is, a head, half-shaped head, missing the top half, and then a bed. So in order to do this with the bed, I need to pull this along, I've just realised. Let me put that there. And this one, I don't know why this is moved, I did not move that. But in order to move the bed like this, you know, normally it would just be flat. All you have to do is you can either double click. I think it's double click. No, I'm wrong. You have to go into this option here. There is a button that you can press, but I've forgotten what it is. I thought it was double click, but it's not. You go into the three dots and then go to toggle advanced tool, transform tool. And then you're able to just move this bed or any furniture that you want to move. You're able to move that in any way that you want it to be without it like snapping to the grid, and you can fully manipulate a lot of the objects then, which is really cool. So let me undo all of that. For some reason it's brought the bed even forward, which is another bug that I've noticed in Paralives. I have been noticing a lot of bugs when I've been especially building this lot in specific. There we go. But I will just mention a bug that I've been noticing quite a lot since reworking this town. So every time that I close the game and then start the game again, and I jump back into this save file or any of my other saves, all of the landscaping items are missing. And I think it might be something to do with the toggle edit town sheet, because I've noticed that on my actual lot, a lot of the trees and the plants are still there, but then a lot of this stuff is gone. Like all of these trees and rocks are completely gone, but some of them still remain. It's very weird. It's like it's picking and choosing what to get rid of. It's so weird. And I have to basically exit the game without saving and then reboot it again. And sometimes I have that exact same issue and it starts making me worry, thinking, am I going to get all of my landscaping items back? Or am I going to have to redo it again? But Thankfully, just exiting the game again, relaunching it, sometimes you just have to do it a few times and then it will work and all of your landscaping items will be there. So this is my tip to you if you are attempting to do this, and just if you're playing Paralives in general, you know, if you're using cheats, mods, whatever, and even if you're just playing it vanilla, create backups like I've told you. But if you ever close your game and relaunch it again on your save and you notice that all of your landscaping items are missing, or even your furniture's missing. I've noticed sometimes when I've built an actual lot and I've relaunched the game, all of the furniture is completely gone. And if you haven't saved your lot onto the Steam Workshop and you haven't saved your game, for example, then you could be in trouble. Like, you might have lost all of that progress. So you need to keep saving your actual lot on the Steam Workshop. Make sure you create duplicates of that. And then also create backups of your save once you've done a lot of progress. And then if you have that issue, you just have to keep relaunching the game without saving. And once you get back all of your landscaping and all of your objects, then you can carry on your progress and save, and you have to do it all over again. So it's a pain in the bum, you know, like Paralives is very buggy. And I know that you're not meant to be using these kind of cheats like toggle edit town. Not an official cheat, but I did notice it when I first started making my mansion build, and also when I first made my first ever build in Paralives. I noticed I was missing a load of landscaping and a load of objects even without me using cheats, so it can happen to anybody's game. So yeah, they definitely need to fix that. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. So now that these two lots are done, I have to move on to the next lot, which is a home. These lots here that are for sale, I'm not doing anything with them. They're just for trees and landscaping. This is what I want to do in my world save. I want to use some of these lots and just have them filled with a load of landscaping, just so I don't have to build full houses. And also, I just love the way that this looks. I think this looks a lot better, and I don't want it cramped with a load of buildings like this. This is the whole idea of this world save, is to minimize how many buildings there actually are. It will help with lag, I think. I don't know. I hope it will, but it'll also just look a bit better. It'll look the way that I want it to look, you know? So that is the idea of it. But you can already see the way that this town is heading. I'm not done yet, though. Before you click off, we've still got more progress to make. What I want to do next is just get rid of these two buildings here. No, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I want to mess with anything else just yet. I might get rid of some of these, but I'm not touching the train station. So I will show you how to do it again, just for this simple house right here, or maybe this lot. Yeah, I'll show you for the community lot. What you need to do is pick one of your households, give them enough money. You can use the cheat, which is Control-Shift-C, and then you can hit jackpot, and then just tap the tab button, click enter, and that'll give them, how much was that? 50,000 paracoins. Or you can set money. I put that cheat in wrong, but you need to put set money, and then put, let's give them another 50,000, for example, 1, 2, 3, and then enter. But that's actually taking away my 3 million. I've just noticed that's gotten rid of that. So whenever you set the money cheat, that's going to get rid of any money that they currently have, and it's going to replace it with the money that you set. So as you've just seen, it's got rid of my 3 million, so I want to get that back. Let's give them 4 million. Or actually, let's give them 5 million, since they're buying a load more community lots. I think that's 5 million. Voila, that's how you do it. Very simple, very easy. You'll get used to using cheats. And then once you've done that, you just click on the lot and just bulldoze it, just to get rid of it, if that's what you want to do. So then you'll have a completely empty terrain to fully play with. So that is pretty much how you get rid of lots. And to do that with the other houses that people own, or community lots that people own, then you'll just have to switch to current household and pretty much do that whole process that I've showed you. But I will be right back once I've got rid of all of these lots. So here we are. I have completely removed all of these community lots and residential lots just around this area, because I don't really want to mess with any of this just yet. I noticed that if you delete the museum, this is what somebody in my comment section said. They said that they deleted the museum and it was completely black underneath. It was blank. So I don't think I want to remove any of this stuff just yet. I have to test that out and see how it works. But I do like how all of this stuff looks. I just want to minimize it a little bit, you know? Like I said, I'm not wanting this world to be filled with like skyscrapers, big massive castle buildings or any of that. I want to just make it a smaller version of this town and put my own stamp on it, make my own version of it. And I also don't want to mess with a train station just yet, because the last time that I did that, I deleted something around here, or I might have accidentally clicked on the train track and deleted it, but the train track was completely gone, and I had to basically go into a backup save and redo all of the progress that I made. So I need to make sure that I'm very careful when I'm deleting certain lots around here. But I have deleted most of these, so we have a bit of a blank canvas to fill in a lot of these lots. And like I mentioned, I'm not going to be completely furnishing or building every single one of these lots. I'm going to be using some of them and just adding loads of landscaping items, just like I did here. But yeah, we'll show you the progress that I've made. I have made another community lot right next to the vintage shop, and this one is going to be a B&B. And the reason why I've made it a B&B is because this is a residential lot, and I haven't figured out how you can actually change lot types yet. If someone has figured it out, please do tell me. I would love to know. But until then, I think these residential lots around this little town area, I'm just going to turn them into like hotels, B&Bs, bed and breakfast, and things like that. I don't know. I might make some of them residential, but I don't really want this to be a residential area. I just want this to be mainly for community lots. And then all of the residential lots will be, you know, over here. But anyway, I will show you the B&B. As you can see, I've made another custom sign, which I'm pretty proud of. I think it looks quite cool. And I've also added this little sign over here that says bed and breakfast, 40 paracoins per night, which is like $40 per night, £40 per night, and then book at the reception. So I just wanted to add a little bit of detail there. Hope you guys appreciate that. But yeah, it's very themed. It's got a bit of a purple, moody colour going on. Hopefully I've done a good job, but I'll just show you the other side. So the reason why I've made it into this kind of shape is because the pizza restaurant is going to connect to the other side, or almost connect, very similar to what I've done with these two, just so it looks pretty cool and it looks like it's all, you know, meshed in together. Yeah, this is the other side of the B&B. Let me change the lighting. Might as well just put it on the nighttime version. Added a light on top of there to show off the sign. And I really like these windows. They have like a bit of a stone effect, just matched the colour with the stone wallpaper. And then got the same little detail there, bed and breakfast, with all of that. So this is where your paras can have a pretend bed and breakfast if they want. Until we can actually have bed and breakfast in Paralives, I don't think they have them yet, then you can just pretend. So yeah, I'll just show you the inside. I'll probably put it on a day version. Let me get the best lighting. I think that'll do. But yeah, it's very purple themed in here, and it's kind of like a modern B&B. You know, there are some themed B&Bs or hotels that you'll visit, and they'll be very themed with certain colours, and that's kind of the idea of this. But it's got the essentials. You got a little living area, got some champagne in case you've got a couple of paras that are having a romantic getaway. This will be perfect for them. And got a little kitchen area with all of the essentials. Do your washing up, all of the coffee, sugar, tea, mugs there, and microwave, and just your essentials really. And you know, it's just got like a little area for you to put your keys on or your little bits and bobs. And then we'll come downstairs to the bedroom area. So just want to explain that I've had to lower this floor here, or this wall, to match this one over here. As you can tell right there, it kind of matches it a little bit. I might have lowered it a little bit too much actually, but I don't know if I can fix that because I've already added a top floor. But anyway, I wanted it to match this one, but I think I've lowered it a little bit too much by accident. Once I've done that, it's made this lower floor a lot lower, and hopefully your paras are able to walk around here easily. Hopefully there's no issues. I've still got to test it out. Might as well just do that right now and just see if this will work. Let me just get her to do a little run here, just so she'll speed up. I don't know where she is in the town. Oh, she's only there. But let's just watch her come inside. Go downstairs. Let me pause the game because they're all talking shit. But yeah, luckily she fits in there, but your tall paras are definitely going to struggle. And this is why I've added a little sign here that says, due to small space, there is no shower or bath. Please mind your head. I just thought I'd add a bit of detail there just to make it kind of realistic, you know? So if you plan on downloading this lot for yourself on the Steam Workshop, just be aware that your tall paras will not be able to fit in here. So me in real life definitely would not be able to fit in here, so this wouldn't be the B&B for me. But for Belagoth and smaller people, perfect. But yeah, this is just how I've decorated it, just matching it to the upstairs, all of the colours. And this is kind of standard what you'd see in B&Bs and hotels, you know, just very white looking sheets and a bit of theming going on. Some nice little plants and some lights. And then wardrobe space. I've just sectioned off this little triangle room just because what would you really put in there? I will also explain this area over here, the bathroom. I couldn't fit a shower in or a bath like I've mentioned in that sign. Because of the wall height, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. Let me go into the bathroom stuff, find the appliances or the shower. If I click on this one, as you can see, it's just way too big for this floor. So yeah, I'm not able to add a shower and even a bath because all of the baths come with shower heads, which is strange. I don't know why. I'm not really complaining. It's just when you try to create like a really small space like this, for example, you can't really do it. Can you see the shower heads poking above? And that's not what I want. So yeah, unfortunately, this B&B, you're not going to be able to wash your bits. You'll have to use the sink. So that's not going to do them well with the reviews of this B&B, but hey-ho. At least they've made the customers aware. It's just got a standard toilet. I forgot to add toilet decor in here. I'll do that before I upload it onto the Steam Workshop. But yeah, if you guys like the look of these lots and you want to place them in your Paralives world save, you don't have to place them in the exact same place that I've placed them in. You can put them anywhere you want, really. Hopefully it'll all work fine with the terrain. And I haven't really tested these builds too much. I will just show you that the paras might have some routing issues, and I don't know how to fix that. To be real with you, I don't know how to fix routing issues when it comes to community lots in Paralives. I didn't even do that in The Sims. I just tested the build before to make sure the Sims would actually, you know, walk around each area if they're trying to move around in the build, and that's pretty much it, and just making sure that they can use certain objects. But in Paralives, this is still early access. I don't know where they can move around. Clearly the paras are able to get into the buildings. I tested it a little bit in this shop with Bella and Mortimer, so they're able to walk in and out of here easily. But little tight spaces like this, what can you do? So just making you aware, if you do download these builds, if you have a bit of routing issues, you can always delete things if it bothers you that much. So just thought I'd explain that. These are very small little lots, so it's all cramped and your paras might struggle now and again. But yeah, I will upload these onto the Steam Workshop for you guys to, you know, use for yourself. So that is it for this episode, guys. I don't want to really build anything else just yet. I'm probably going to do some builds off camera like I did the B&B. Hopefully you don't mind. But like the big builds that I really want to show off in the videos, I'll definitely do that. I am planning on doing a cinema area somewhere over here, like a little outdoor theatre. I think that'll look quite cool in the main area. Just got to figure out how to do it and where to do it. And I'll also play around with the mod and just see if I can change some of these lots, because what if I want this restaurant to be the cinema area? I want to be able to change it easily and create my own labels, create my own titles and all of that. But yeah, this is what I've done for now. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this series so far. Let me know in the comments. And like I mentioned, if you're also tackling your own world save, definitely create backups, create multiple backups. Every time you make a lot of progress, always save and always go back into the main menu and create a backup of that save or multiple backups, just to be safe. So that is it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like the video if you're enjoying it, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.